What's up, Michigan? You know what time it is. Welcome back to another episode 5 of State Champs Hang Time. My name is Lauren Plant. He's TJ Kelly. How you doing this week, my friend?
Hey, 50 degrees this weather. Hey, I'll take it.
It feels good. Let's get into our paint pontifications. Want to talk about Trey McKinney from Orchard Lake St. Mary's, how he sits in the national conversation, right? So if you look at some of the ranking pundits out there, On3 is one of them, has Trey McKinney ranked 28th in the country. He is the highest ranked player, though, in the junior class from the state of Michigan. Question is, from a national perspective, TJ, is it high enough?
The way he's playing right now, he's shooting the ball that much better. He's handling the ball that much better. He's moving that much. He's taking care of his body. So defensively, he's there as well. I think he's a little bit of a throwback. But from my perspective, I've seen plenty of guys nationally, especially in his class since they were freshmen. So being able to watch guys over the last 2 or 3 years and watch them develop. Me personally, I think that Trey McKinney he does a lot of things that can't be measured, and I think that 28 is kind of a slight. I would have him at least in the top 25 and definitely in the top 20, or let's say this, definitely in the top 25 and possibly in the top 20, just based off of, who's recruiting him right now. We'll see if Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, and Kansas come knocking. I know they've been in contact with them. But, yeah, Trey McKinney's definitely a top 20 guy.
How about a prediction in paint pontifications? Will Trey McKinney be a McDonald's All-American when it's all said and done?
Well, I think Trey McKinney should definitely be a McDonald's All-American. When you talk about the top, 25 guys in the country, that's Trey McKinney. On and off the court, he's president of his class. He's been at the same school for the last few years. He went to the state championship. Let's say this: he stayed at the same school. There are so many other players that jump around, so it is kind of a throwback, to being more traditional and not going out there and hunting greener pastures. Hey, I'm here, let's make greener pastures here. And I think that steps up and, for a captain, just being a junior upperclassman speaks volumes.
Speaking of a guy who's jumped around, who might be joining him at that All-American game, Darius Acuff, who is now at IMG Academy, he's probably in that same conversation.
I think Darius Acuff, you're talking about arguably the top point guard in his class, if not the country. He'd be able to pretty much go wherever he wants in college. Top 10, top 5 player consensus. But, they are also teammates over the spring and summer playing with the family on the EYBL circuit. So, they have that chemistry, and I would definitely love to see them on the same team and on the court at the same time. We haven't had that happen since – Ray McCallum and Keith Appling, I think, right. In 2011. So
that's
it'd be great to have.
Yes, we were at that All-American game.
Columbus, Ohio.
That's right. Let's move into our rankings rationale, and this segues perfectly as we talk about what is your rationale for the week of February 5th that Orchard Lake St. Mary's, speaking of Trey McKinney, is your number one team in the state of Michigan.
Just the way Orchard Lake St. Mary's, they've rebounded from an early league loss to University of Detroit Jesuit, who has pretty much been the thorn, if there is a thorn in Orchard Lake's side in the Catholic League. U of D has been that over the past few years. Since then, they've rebounded, and they're stomping teams. Like they beat Brother Rice by double digits. They in every showcase that they're playing, they're beating teams thoroughly. And, they just did the same thing in Grand Rapids. So, we'll see where they want to – hopefully they want to win. Well, they say for the Eaglets, they're hoping that they wind up winning another, Catholic League title and then be able to get, some unfinished business done when they return to the Breslin if that does happen. So, hey, if they do that, then not only that will speak volumes for Trey, but also help out TJ's rankings.
And we'll get to a little tourney talk coming up in just a minute. Let's keep on with our rankings rationale. Talk about Whitehall. Moved him up a tick to number 24 in the state. This is a Division II team, fresh off beating Big Rapids 75-27. Now, was it revenge for Big Rapids beating Whitehall in the football district finals? They say no, but they are 17-0.
Yeah, Whitehall is absolutely. They're not necessarily coming out of thin air. If you have any idea who Cam Thompson is, one of the hardest playing juniors at 6'5", He just brings intensity every time he's out on the court. They're 17-0. If I'm looking at the Whitehall team, a lot of these guys, they played football together. They grew up together. Now they're playing basketball together. They're playing baseball, track, doing whatever else. So you're talking about camaraderie. You're talking about chemistry, which is so key in having undefeated records. Making sure that you can go and on long runs in the state tournament. They have the pieces where it can get done. Now they're going to probably have to face Grand Rapids South Christian, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, who have been a little bit more seasoned or tested a little bit more during the season. When they do face Whitehall in the state tournament, which probably will happen in the regionals, if not districts. So we'll see how that winds up happening. But yeah, Whitehall is playing phenomenal basketball right now. Worthy of their ranking.
We will see if that happens. Last year, lost in the district semifinals in overtime to Fruitport, so we'll see if this team can get beyond the districts. Each and every week, Mondays, StateChampsNetwork.com. TJ's rankings are updated, his top 25 teams in the state. Check it out. Comment on it. Let this guy know if he's in the ballpark. We feel it's a more definitive rankings than you're going to catch anywhere else here in the state of Michigan. That's just how we feel. That's how we roll. Let's get into future forecasts, all right? A couple of big, I can't believe it's this time of year already, but here we go. A couple of big league tournaments coming up. This year's Detroit PSL Championship will be decided on Sunday, February 18th at Wayne State University. Of course, Cass Tech will try and repeat. Who are the next closest contenders?
Renaissance and King are more than likely going to have to play each other, and that's going to be on the other side of the bracket from Cass. And let's just say, as far as all the standings go, I'm not trying to cut anybody's future or fortune out for them in wins, but more than likely, Renaissance and King will wind up meeting up, and the winner of that team will more than likely play Cass. And I'm so happy that they wound up moving it to Wayne State to be able to watch the games there. It's more state-of-the-art, bigger TVs, phenomenal popcorn, good concessions. Not
it's
only
important.
That, the stadium seating, you got to love it, especially if you're sitting there for a couple of games, so your back isn't exhausted and all that stuff. Sit there in the comfort and watch some great basketball. I
agree. The Catholic League Boys Championship will take place on Saturday, February 17th. Your prediction, how that will turn out, is it wide open?
I think the Catholic League, you always have to say it's wide open. I think Orchard Lake St. Mary's made it in by the skin of their teeth last year in the fourth place, and obviously wound up having success, and then wound up going on to the Breslin Center into the state semifinals. Do I think that Orchard Lake St. Mary is by far the favorite this year? Yes, I think it's theirs to lose. They might have to reach down to that thorn in the state at the title. But first, and that would be University of Detroit Jesuit.
Yep.
But UD Jesuit has to beat Catholic Central on Saturday, and this is going to be the third time that they're playing this year. The more times you're playing the team, the more familiar you are with them,
no
the
doubt.
more they've been scouted. And so, definitely all these teams who are playing each other right now, especially with the Toledo teams in there, you just have that much more parity. And, it's fun to see.
All right, it's going to be wild, and we're going to cover it right here on Hang Time. Hey, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to comment, you want to like, you want to follow us, we love it. Let us know how we're doing, and let us know what you want us to talk about on the show. Other than that, we will see you next week for episode 6.
State Champs Hang Time is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic. Hang Time is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, proud partner of the MHSAA. And the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation Athlete of the Year Award applications now being accepted until March 31st, 2024 for the male and female athletes of the year. Download the application today at dacathleteoftheyear.com. You cannot be nominated if you don't apply.